It's hard to fully explain a love story
We did not waste any time.
simply by looking at pictures.
He always made me laugh no matter what.
But there's no better person to explain her love story than Tara McLaughlin.
The first date we had ever went on, Ian had told me right then and there that he was going to marry me and I was going to have his kids.
Tara and Ian married a month later. 5 years of wedded bliss included 3 beautiful children.
He was an amazing father.
The McLaughlin story landed them in Fayetteville, North Carolina at Fort Bragg.
He just wanted to serve his country. That's all he wanted to do.
Ian, who was from Newport News, found his calling in the Army.
When he got into the military and he started really fast tracking through the military,
McLaughlin was quickly promoted to staff sergeant and was preparing to move across the country.
we had orders to go to Fort Lewis. When he found out about this deployment, he said, nope, I'm not leaving my soldiers. I'm going to go with them.
The 82nd Airborne Division left in July, headed to Afghanistan.
He only met our son for 8 days, and then he went on this deployment.
The deployment was scheduled to last 8 months. While Ian was gone, Tara focused on the 3 little ones.
Having Ian Jr., he's actually the second, but having Ian by myself was really difficult. But after that, I kind of was like, we'll be okay.
Ian and Tara would talk regularly over the next couple months. In early January, on a Friday night call, he told her the news she was hoping to hear. He'd be home in March.
He was going out on a mission. He had called me like every other time. He said his I love yous to me. It was all normal. Everything was fine.
Early the next morning, there was a knock on the couple's door.
I had looked out the glass windows and I saw the 2 uniformed soldiers. And
Did you know right away?
yeah. Yep.
Ian was killed when his SUV hit a roadside bomb.
I just remember instantly grabbing my phone and calling Ian. And I kept telling them it wasn't. I was like, there's no way. I was like, it's not Ian. It just kept ringing.
Ian's body was brought back to Fort Bragg just days later.
I wanted it to be very private, but I don't believe that's what Ian deserved. I mean, Ian died a hero, and I wanted him to be honored that way.
The streets were lined as Ian came by on the way to the funeral home.
It's hands down been the most difficult thing I've ever had to go through and will go through and continuously go through, because it doesn't just stop to move on from it. It's not like a broken bone where I know eventually it's going to heal and then everything will be better.
The wall at the McLaughlin home is now a tribute. Tara hopes it will explain Ian's true greatness as the children get older.
The kids are going to go to school one day and they're going to ask, you know, how come so-and-so has a daddy? How come I don't have, where's my daddy? I tell them every single day that their daddy is a hero.
Ian will never be too far away.
There's 2 things that Ian loved in this world, and it was being a dad and being in the Army.
And though Ian is no longer around, his love story is still being written.
There was something that you could say to him. What would it be?
That I love him, and that I'm proud of him.
And Tara said Ian was such a giving man. She says it was routine that during the holidays they had a house full of single soldiers because Ian didn't want anyone to be alone. The family has set up a page for donations to help those children as they get older. You can find that link on wavy.com. Jason Marks, 10 on your side.